Welcome back, and we are still here with a special Trinidad and Tobago episode of Ladies Lounge. And I am joined by yet another beautiful Trinidadian right here on set with us, and she is Marisa Coleman.
Hi.
Welcome to the set.
Thank you.
Now, I know you've been listening in the background and hearing all the things that we've been talking about, but before we get into any sort of discussion, we didn't actually get a chance to ask each of us what we do. We heard about what Sham does.
No,
but let's take
Exactly. They just stop talking about alignment.
No, but I love it. So Marisa, tell us a little bit about what you do for the benefit of our viewers.
Of course. Currently, I work at the House of Commons. I work specifically for the constituency of the Isle of Wight.
Okay.
So politics.
Okay. Yes.
And also, I own two very small but very good companies with amazing staff members. MCI is a financial firm, so I do business consultancy. And we also do corporate events, dealing mainly with diplomats. And the second company is Black Panther Productions, which is a small film firm.
Amazing. I love that.
Amazing.
Yes. You sat there so quietly.
Right?
You had no idea. We just chatted. I love that. Janelle, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I am a A&R for a publishing company called Stellar Songs, and we sign some of the biggest acts in the world for their publishing rights. And little intro, but publishing is basically anything to do with the rights to a song, the writing, the production, anything that goes behind a song, making the music. And I'm also a tour manager.
Fantastic. Janelle won't tell you, but she's also former Miss Trinidad and Tobago UK. And honestly, we're all beautiful people. I just have to say that because I can't not keep talking about the beauty of our people. We're so diverse. We're so beautiful. Honestly, we're just so... We're blessed. We're blessed. So Sham, tell us a little bit about what you do.
So, in case you missed the other part of this, so I own a restaurant and rum bar called Lyman, and we basically do Trinidadian food, really true to home. But apart from that, I actually created the first Caribbean food and drink festival. It's called Jerk and Beyond, and the whole premise behind that was to showcase Caribbean food behind the jerk chicken or beyond the jerk chicken. So we will have it later on this year, and we're looking to have sort of food traders from across the Caribbean. And more excitingly, I have actually, with my team, created our own blend of rum.
Ooh.
So later on this year, we are launching a white rum, an aged rum, and a spice rum. And our uniqueness, I guess, in some ways, is rum is made in 3 different ways: the English, the French, and the Spanish.
Oh, wow.
And we have uniquely and remarkably blended all 3 together and created an amazing product.
Oh, wow.
And this rum punch
Which
has
is
our
so
rum in it.
good.
Okay, amazing.
So good.
I just had a sip of it. I'm absolutely buzzing. Like, I'm a lightweight when it comes to drinks, but it tastes so
Thank you very
good.
much.
So thank you very much again. Now, of course, we've been mentioning how beautiful and how amazing Trinidad and Tobago is, but of course, Trinidad and Tobago is not without its issues. And, here on Ladies Lounge, we love to keep it real. That's why we have the guests that we have on, because again, they in turn also are very open and honest about things that are issues in our community. And racism, or colorism, should I say, in Trinidad is a very serious issue that still exists, even though we are multi-ethnic. And it's almost how can I say, it's almost a bit ironic that, again, in our coat of arms, it says, "Together we aspire, together we achieve."
Yes.
And there's still a little bit of, friction between the different races, well, a lot, different races in our community. Now, just to open this forum, I know that I shared on another episode of Ladies Lounge, but I'll share it here. My family is a complete mixture. We have different skin tones from the lightest to the darkest, and I absolutely love it. I love the different shades and different ethnicities that are in my family. However, I do specifically remember a situation where my grandmother, God rest her soul, who's very, very, very light-skinned, told me as a young child to not go out into the sun because I would get darker. And she would always refer to me as Dougla. Now, Dougla is a sort of derogatory term, which means black Black and Indian mixture, or like some sort of multi-ethnicity mixture, but it is synonymous with maybe somewhat darker skin, but curly hair, and things like that. And that's that's one personal instance that I can testify that there is indeed racism or colorism in TNT. So has anyone experienced it, or anyone have a story to share? It's an issue that we don't really talk about.
I personally haven't experienced it, but people in my family have. I feel like my great-grandfather, when one of my aunts wanted to marry someone who wasn't in her race, he completely frowned upon it and literally cut her off from the family if she did. And this is 50s, so not too long ago.
But it probably happens today still.
It does. I feel like mom, a lot older than my grandparents, their grandparents, it was much more prevalent than now, but it still definitely happens. I feel like in Trinidad as well, I think it's slightly to do with sometimes we're very small-minded, or closed-minded, I should say, but we can take that into politics, they can say that. We can take it into food, we can take it into so many things and be like, them this or them that. But it's only within Trinidad. I feel like anyone who is not from there won't get it as much as we get it. I have every single race in my family, so there's no way I can be, do you know what I mean? But I know that, when my grandfather tells me stories and things like that, I'm just like, Trinidad, I don't understand it. But I know it still does happen as well.
Yeah.
The problem, I think, stems from really deep down in our history, right? From the start of colonization. And it's really interesting you say that, because sometimes when I bring it up with English people here,
they don't get it.
They're really confused. They're like, "Why? You're all dark anyway. What is the problem?" And I think that the issue really comes from colonization, where deep down in our psyche, our ancestors really were taught to believe that the lighter your skin was and the more Caucasian your features was, the better you were. So, for example, the slaves, the lighter skinned slaves worked inside. And the darker skinned slaves worked outside. And it sounds like really I'm going very far back into history, but I think it really stems from there.
Of course.
And it's a mindset that carried forward. What is remarkably disappointing, which is a really strong word to use, I know, but what is quite disappointing is that there are still Trinidadians that really believe that their blood is pure.
Sorry, that's funny.
It's funny, but it's true.
It's funny.
I find this
funny.
I find it
down the line
somewhere, but not.
I find it very disappointing, because it's so disappointing, because I'm very sure, really, first of all, we're all related. And so the island is so tiny. And when you really get talking to people, if we were to really start talking about where you're from, do you know this? But I'm sure we will find some relative,
of course,
who is in common. And as you can see, we all look slightly different. So I really find it so ridiculous that Trinidadians still carry on this nonsense about I am better than you because of my color. But what I resent, and this is something that I felt, so my formative years was here in the UK. And then when I was a teenager, my mom sent me to get a convent education.
Okay.
And I was very used to, in England, if you're not, now it's a little bit different, but back then, because I'm a little bit older now, back then, if you were not white, you were black. And that was the end of that story. So I was in Trinidad, and I referred to myself as a black person. And the black girls in Trinidad, they don't like this. No, you are not one of us. Why are you calling it?
I had that over here.
But I'm colored. What is the I don't feel, I'm okay. I resent being called anything other than a Trinidadian.
Same.
I will go as far as being, because I'm proud also of being British. So I'm happy with British Trinidadian, but I resent all other titles. Because I do not think that it's really truly possible to go. First of all, the records do not exist. So it's not possible to really trace back your family history so far back that you can prove that there was not some mix somewhere. It's crazy. It's really crazy.
I feel like as well, of course we know the Dutch invaded Tobago and slaves from Africa, India, wherever, but it makes us who we are. And I feel like the more we say, she's an Indian, she's a this, she's that. It's literally you're separating us what we are instead of one nation.
Exactly.
And it's definitely prevalent though. Again, I think you don't really witness it until you're there.
Yes.
It's so hard because we have all been, and we've been in recent times, so we understand it. But to take it to, literally, like you said, explain it to someone here, they will not get it. They think, you're from Trinidad and that's that.
Yeah. And also I think in the terminology that we use to refer to people, that Chinese man day, that yellow gill, that darky, you understand, like that Douglas.
But that's slang for us.
But
it's slang for us, but it's actually derogatory.
Of
it's
course.
actually very discriminatory.
I grew up in Trinidad, right? And so my uncles called my mother Blacks because she was dark skinned. She was the darkest of them. My nickname or term of endearment was called Tazo. Tar being I was so dark. And
but they don't realize
the
long-term effect this has on you.
Of course.
Because for years, like really, I thought that I was really ugly because I was darker than my cousin.
And you're far from that.
I see your 100%.
I know now, but
I was waiting for the compliment too.
Of course you know it was coming to you.